Arsenal are one of the oldest and most storied clubs in Europe. In England, they currently have the longest streak of consecutive top-flight seasons among all professional teams and have not suffered a relegation for over a century. But where does their nickname come from? Why are Arsenal known as the Gunners? Well, the easiest way of answering that is first explaining why they're called Arsenal at all. In 1886, as had been and would continue to be the case across Victorian England, many football clubs were starting to grow from factory labour forces. One of these was on the south bank of the River Thames, among the employees of the Royal Arsenal Armaments Factory in Woolwich. In its heyday, the Royal Arsenal was a sprawling estate 3.5 miles long and 1 mile wide, and an employer of 100,000 people. It also, according to its official history and part of its production network, encompassed 147 miles of railway line within 2 square miles, making it the densest rail network in British history. And this strange labyrinth was where Arsenal came from. Originally, however, the team was known as Dial Square, after one of the workshop buildings on the complex. That identity would be tenuous and it would change. Dial Square played their first competitive match in December of 1886, but would rebrand themselves as Royal Arsenal before the end of the year. And that name would last for another 7 years. In 1893, however, Royal Arsenal would be plunged into a civil war. A squabble over professionalism had been raging internally for some time, with a boardroom split effectively leading to the creation of 2 new teams. Or more precisely, 1 new team, Royal Ordnance Factories FC, an amateur side, and a new professional team in Royal Arsenal's place, Woolwich Arsenal. While Royal Ordnance Factories would collapse and vanish within a few seasons, Woolwich Arsenal, a PLC, would in 1893 become the first southern club to join the Football League, albeit in the 2nd division. One remaining problem, however, was the club's location. Woolwich Arsenal played their games at the Manor Ground in Plumstead, which at the time was considered an out-of-the-way location and hardly well-placed to attract large crowds. By 1910, the club was stuck in a cycle of poor attendances and enforced sales, with bankruptcy a real possibility. And while the story of the team's move to North London is its own tale, the abridged version is that the ailing club were purchased by a group of local businessmen, headed by property developer Sir Henry Norris. Norris would fund the club's move to Highbury in 1913, Woolwich Arsenal became the Arsenal the following year, and in the winter of 1919, that prefix was dropped, with the club becoming simply Arsenal. That change was really popularised by legendary manager Herbert Chapman towards the end of the 1920s, a ruse that would see them lead any alphabetised list of Football League clubs. But the formal change in the PLC's identity actually predated him. Regardless, through changes in location and name, professional status and standing, the club's iconography has remained consistent. Arsenal were born from a munitions factory south of the river, and they remain the Gunners, synonymous with the cannons on their crest and around their modern stadium, after over a century spent in North London. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and Rafa Honigstein. There are journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.